All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special episode of the Nosebleeds. No, do not adjust your computer or anything at all. I am here invading as a member of the Three Count Podcast. My name is Benny Thurman III. This is a special New York Giants based Nosebleed section. I am here with a boot. Say what's up. I'm here with Steve, one of our newest members, and I'm here with Joe, who is hiding in the corner.
Oh my goddamn show. It's fucked up.
Shut up. Anyway, we are here as not all of the New York Giants fans because we're missing John, but we're here as the New York Giants fans. As everybody knows, Eli Manning, had his press conference yesterday, retiring from the NFL after 16 seasons. And we're basically just giving ourselves out. We're doing our tribute show for who is going to go down as the greatest quarterback in New York Giants history, Eli Manning. So what we're going to do is we're going to give our thoughts and feelings on him. We're going to basically talk about our favorite moments of Eli Manning's career or the New York Giants time with Eli Manning at the helm, and then basically what we expect going forward, from his successor in Daniel Jones. All right, so Boo, we're gonna start off with you. What's how you feeling, man?
To be perfectly honest, like I'm really glad everything happened the way that it did, because even though he would never show it, he's a consummate professional. Ever since the McAdoo era, when he was benched for Geno Smith, I felt maybe so, or at least internally, there may have been a little bit of animosity towards the coaching staff or the organization or whatever. But then seeing how he carried himself this year, seeing how he came in for the few games at the end of the year when DJ was hurt and kind of was able to get the team together, even rattled off a win for us. To see the way that it ended today was really, or on yesterday, excuse me, was really appropriate. To see him go and play for another year for another team and then come back and still retire as a Giant wouldn't have really tainted my image of him. But it's good to see, when you're able to appreciate your legends and you're able to be like the last jersey they put on their way out. Yeah, honestly, incredible career. I'm gonna go even further. I'm gonna say greatest quarterback in New York history, and that's Jets and Giants included. Because you have to think, like, even if you were a Jets fan, if a New York team made it to the Super Bowl, especially playing against the Patriots, especially playing against a hated division rival, to a certain extent, you're going to want to see New York come out on top. So I think he honestly earned the respect of the whole region, not just Big Blue Nation.
I definitely can't front because when the Jets were making their runs in '09 and 2010, I was definitely sitting up there telling all the Jets fans I was working on, like, listen, I'm behind y'all. Go ahead, win, please. So I'm
Mm.
I'm 100% right there with you, Steve. What you feeling, man?
I mean, it's bittersweet, right? Because obviously, like, he's had a great career, for the Giants. It makes sense he's retiring now. From his perspective, he's healthy, which is good because a lot of times, when a player leaves, it's like they're leaving too late, right? And if they leave too late, the memories of them are being really bad. Like, yes, some of the McAdoo years weren't great, but if you look at it, Eli was never that bad. Like, obviously, he wasn't mobile, but he still was able to sling the ball. So, like, the last memory we have is a Miami game where, he was very good. And it makes sense because it's always weird to see, like, another player, like, in another uniform. For example, if you look at his counterpart, Phillip Rivers will probably finish his career in a different uniform than the Chargers. And he's old now. He's not very good. So it's just a weird thing. Even like Joe Montana in Kansas City. And, to see Eli finish it where he started, and he did it his way. He won his 2 Super Bowls. He's had one of the best careers of all time if you look at his numbers. Obviously, it could be debate. There's things you could debate on, but statistically speaking, he's had an amazing career. And it's just funny too that they drafted a successor who reminds everybody of Eli, which is it just shows like how good a quarterback he was and how great for the franchise that he was.
Mm-hmm. Joe, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
Well, um, kind of feel like To, like that's my quarterback. I, when I first saw it, like when I first got like the breaking news and everything, like I think I want to say I was at work, and yeah, when I first got the news, it was like I remember I hit y'all up and I was like, "Yo, don't post anything. I can't cry right now. I'm at work. Got chill."
Mm-hmm.
Like, like yeah, I didn't want to. I read it and I was just like, "Nah, I didn't just get that. Nah, I didn't just get that." but it's like what we've been saying, like the whole time, everything we talk about, all our scenarios and everything from off season and everything, we've been saying like, yo, like if he could come in and he could just teach Daniel Jones for a little bit, and then hopefully he like goes off to the sunset and retires, you know, it'd be great. And then we have Daniel Jones to help right the ship and everything. And now, and it happened. What we've all been talking about has happened. Like he retires. Now we're all just like, damn, he's really gone. Like Eli's gone, and it hits you. It's just like this sucks. Like you'll never see 10 play again. But at the same time, it's like you wouldn't want it any other way because you wouldn't want him to play in any other team's jersey. Like you don't. Like I don't care if people are like, oh, like maybe he goes to like the Bears, and like I don't want to see Eli in a Bears jersey. First off, the Bears jerseys are ugly. But I didn't want to see him in any other team's uniform. He went to the Bears, I would have been mad. He went to the Colts, people would have been comparing. Oh, he went to the Colts, people would have compared him to Peyton Manning up and down. Like, oh, he's the lesser Peyton Manning. Like, there's just so many elements to it. But like, I'm happy that he's retired. He doesn't have to take, I guess, the hits and the abuse and all that crap anymore. Like, he's professional, and I love the people that love to bash on him because when they bash on him, all he does is come back and hit them with professionalism. All he does is sit there and hit them with every perfect answer you could possibly think of or write up. He throws that at the media, and the media hates that because they can't crack him. It's been 16, 17 years, whatever you want to say, however old he is, and the media in all that time still has not been able to crack this man, not once. So it's like it's just awesome to see. It's awesome to see that he can finally go out, and I just wish that we had a better team. I wish we had a better team in his final years because let's be honest, like after that one Super Bowl, we all know we were getting ready to go back and repeat until Platt shot himself. Yep. If that didn't happen, we were repeating that year. We all know that was happening. We were running through the league, but like there's so many. After that, like Steve said, talking about Jerry Reese and bringing him up and everything, it's just like. The team wasn't built to last after a while. Like we tried to go out and spend all this money and everything, but the team is supposed to be built through free agency. And if a GM misses on 80% of his picks in drafts, like what do you expect the team to be except for what we are right now? So I mean, I wish we were a team better off and we could have gave that guy maybe one more crack at a Super Bowl. But I'm happy for the guy, and I mean. As Abood said, I believe he is the best quarterback in all of New York, not just the Giants. That's putting him above Namath. And, I mean, you'd even say the Bills, which is kind of fucked up. They're in New York State, Abood.
That's South Canada, all right?
Maine and everything else. But, I mean, yeah, I think he's probably the best quarterback ever in New York. And the only person I want to see maybe dethrone him is Daniel Jones. So that's it.
Like I honestly can't do anything but agree with you. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like I sat up here and I was having this conversation with a couple of people. When Steve, I was talking to you before we even started or whatever. It's the same thing when we were having a conversation about Jordan and Kobe and all of them. How it is that our generation, for the most part, or I should say my generation, is gone. All right. But when it comes to the Giants, when I was coming up, you had Phil Simms was already here. Jeff Hostetler was his backup. He had his ring and everything like that. But to be completely honest with you, Jeff Hostetler was he wasn't a pedestrian on that team, but he wasn't the reason we won. He was just there. All right. Phil Simms won the Giants a Super Bowl, but that was before my time. That was in '86. I was born in '84. I wasn't sure, what left from right was in '86. So when you bring up giant greats, when it comes to guys like Phil Simms and Lawrence Taylor and Harry Carson and Carl Banks, your Otis Andersons and all of that, I can sit here and I can say, like, yeah, I know who those guys are. I've seen highlights of them, but I wasn't cognitive enough to actually respect and appreciate what they were. That is way different with Eli, because Eli came in when he was drafted. I was just getting ready to turn 20. I'm coming into the prime of my life at that point, or whatever. So I'm sitting up here and I've watched this guy's career pretty much. I can't say every single game because, of course, we work on Sundays and all kinds of things like that. But when it comes to, him and the Giants, from that point on, I'm there and I'm cognitive and I know what's supposed to be happening. I know what good quarterback play is because I've seen it. I saw it from him. What got me was during this press conference, my supervisor at work actually pulled me aside yesterday when I came back because he's a Giants fan too. He says, so "Tell me the truth. Did you how much did you cry during that press conference?" I said, "I'm going to be honest with you. When Eli was speaking, I wasn't crying, but when John Mara got up there and his voice started breaking up, talking about that Cowboys game at the end of Eli's rookie season, I'm like, come on, dude, we can't do this today." Oh, we can't do this today. I gotta go to work. I can't be having my eyes all puffy and sniffling and all kinds of stuff like that. All right, the same thing with Joe. But I'm sitting up here and I'm just like, it's weird because as you can see, like I said, I got my setup in the background. I got the jersey. I got the helmet. I'm gonna be a Giants fan for the rest of my life. All right, that is never gonna change. All right, unless the Giants find some way to move and they move to a different stadium and change their name and all kinds of other stuff, which ain't gonna happen. But I'm still gonna follow that team. All right. But the bottom line is, it is going to be incredibly strange that we don't see this on the sidelines anymore. And to be completely honest with you, I think that we've been spoiled with what we got from Eli because it's really rare that you get a guy playing in one spot, especially in the free agency era, for 16 years and being available all the time. I don't know. I don't know if the people that are actually speaking about this in a, in a national, in a national set actually appreciate that as much as it actually means. You got guys out there that all it takes is one false step. All it takes is somebody falling in your leg the wrong way. All it takes is sitting up there, I don't know, lighting a firework up or whatever. I'm gonna leave that alone. To chase higher career. You know it. I'm related to you.
Yeah.
But like I said, I can't do anything but listen to exactly what he said and do exactly what he said, which is remember the good times. I'm not going to sit up here and focus on and harp on, oh, he threw, all of these interceptions and stuff like that. It is what it is. The man was trying to win. It's not like he went out there, trying to throw the ball to the other team. He's trying to make something happen. And if you want to actually look at it and break it down to a perspective where it actually makes sense, all 3 of those years that he led the league in interception, which is actually 2 because one of them was tied. Who was his offensive coordinator? Kevin Gilbride. Kevin Gilbride had an option-based offense, and that option-based offense, when it's running perfectly, it is incredibly hard to stop. But when it's not, it is a mess. You got your quarterback and your receiver on 2 completely different wavelengths, you're going to get some problems. And that's how you end up with 20, 25, and 27 interceptions. It's one of them things. But anyway, before I continue rambling and all kinds of other stuff like that, we're going to talk about the moments, the things that we had, the things that we're going to be reminded of when we think of Eli Manning. Boo, what you got, bro?
As far as just moments that I'm gonna be like, I probably will stand up on this, but as far as biggest moments, I'm gonna put that throw to Manningham in the second Super Bowl over the helmet catch. I understand how easy the helmet catch. I understand the situation, breaking the sack, getting out of the pocket, but the accuracy and the pin position of that throw that he threw to Manningham along that sideline, it's like the pocket that he had to fit it in was like the most ridiculous. And then honestly, on that drive, that's when I knew, like, okay, we're going to win this game. Because it's like, for that throw to go all to waste, for that moment to come, for Mario Manningham to make an incredible toe-tapping catch along the sideline and then not lead us to a Super Bowl victory, that just never made sense to me. But it's that there's so many that come to mind. I think one of Odell's last years here, I forgot what it was, but he threw a game-winning touchdown to Larry Donnell in like the back of the end zone.
It was the San Francisco game.
Off and the whole Yeah, against San Francisco, and the whole team came up, and there was like this like great feeling of emotion that kind of took over the whole team. You think even Odell was in tears, which isn't saying much. It doesn't take much for him to cry, but like the fact that the whole team like reacted that way and kind of supported their guy, it's like that shows you like who he is as a leader. And like I think that's above his playing, above his the way that he's able to handle these pressure moments. It's the way that he conducts himself with the people in the locker room in order for him to get behind him. I think that's something that we're constantly going to be remembering. And regardless of whatever Daniel Jones' success is, I think if he learns anything from Eli, it's that. It's how to conduct himself in a locker room amongst 50 other professionals, because people want to look and they want to look at his, like, especially a big argument was his record and how he finished his year, or he finished his overall career record. I forget what the stat was, like 117, 117, something like that along those lines. But yeah, but that, like, despite the lack of success, or to other people, the lack of success that was seen in those years, the ability to rile your team up around you and not have one bad teammate say anything bad about you, except for like Tiki Barber, but like we know what that was. We don't have to touch on that. But like to have the rest of the locker stand behind you and support you without a shadow of a doubt, week in and week out, knowing that you have a losing record, you probably aren't going to make the playoffs that year. I think that's the biggest testament to who he was as a player.
Right. I know it. Steve, what you got, man?
So for the best memory, I actually would agree the Manningham catch, definitely. But if you take it a step further, that entire season, his 2011 season, nobody talks about. He threw for almost 5,000 yards. I mean, he was lights out. They had the worst running game in the entire league that year. And the defense was solid. It was good, but it was not 2007's defense at all. Nah. And, I mean, he was a machine. I mean, they were only 9-7. But you think about what they would have been without him. And then in the playoffs, the performance, especially that game against the Niners, where, I mean, he was just taking hit after hit after hit. And he stood in there and didn't make a mistake. I mean, that was incredible. And, the other thing about Eli, you can see what kind of leader he is. So when Ben McAdoo benched him for Geno Smith, which one of the stupidest things I've ever seen the Giants, organization ever do, the amount of ex-Giant players that showed up at the stadium in support of him was incredible. I remember Plaxico was there. Obviously, Sean O'Hara. I think Amani Toomer was there. I mean, everyone had support for him. And it was to a point to where you could see what kind of leader in person he was. That, all these ex-teammates were completely on his side, and that he had completely gotten screwed over because it was just it was just so stupid. And the other thing, with Eli, people talk about being a consummate professional, but to your point about not having receivers on the same page. Well, I don't know if you guys remember the 2013 season. Ruben Randall was never on the same page with Eli. I think about 10 of those interceptions were because Randall was running the wrong route. And the thing with Eli that is also, he was more like a Brett Favre type player. No one compares him to Brett Favre because his last name is Manning. They want to, keep him in with the whole Manning thing. But Brett Favre was a gunslinger, and so was Eli. Eli never worried about his stats. He was just trying to win the game. So, yeah, he threw a lot of interceptions. But if you actually broke it down and you looked at the interceptions, and you were talking about Kevin Gilbride's offense, which when it was off was horribly off, it really wasn't an interception machine that people like to pretend that he was. It's a little mind-boggling. People are like, yeah, well, Eli threw his interceptions. He was terrible. Look at the teams he had around him. I mean, Jerry Reese couldn't draft for shit. I mean, literally, he hit on like who? Odell Beckham was like the only real hit he had. And then, Hakeem Nicks, but he didn't last very long. Pierre Paul, but there was really no one that he hit on. And the guy's taking Eric Flowers, like, 9th overall? So the record is not the right way to look at it. It's the eye test. And Eli, if you watch those games, it's the eye test. And look when he got a new offense with McAdoo. Look at his numbers from 14, 15, and 16. Completely different player than he was in 13 when he had a much more structured offense. So, I mean Eli... Man, it's kind of sad, man. You have to love Eli.
Yeah, man. Like, honestly, going on the old interception thing, one of the things that I always say is YouTube is a very great tool. All right. You got people that will go out there and they will go out of their way to try and make somebody look bad. Like, if you go on there and search Eli Manning interceptions, all those videos will come up, like all 25 of Eli Manning's interceptions in 2010. All 27 in 2013. The thing is, what that'll tell you is that in 2013, you had the situation where Gilbride's offense at that point was becoming stale. People like defenses have figured him out. Chris Collinsworth called us out on Sunday Night Football one night, and he's trying to figure out, he's like, what does this Omaha mean? I got it. That's when the play is about to start. He's already made all of his checks and all of those. So we sat up there. Now, granted, Omaha's a thing that's used like league wide now or whatever, but back then it wasn't. It was just something that kind of sort of went back and forth between Eli and Peyton. Even then, like I said, you look at the 25 interception year, 2010. Like, I can pretty much count 12 interceptions that went off of hands. So, like I said, you sit there and you get this idea in your head that, Eli throws all of these interceptions and everything like that. Like, it's not all stuff happens. I remember at the beginning of the 2011 season. Who was it? I want to say it was Jay Alford. It was either Jay Alford or one of the other defensive tackles had went to the Redskins. And instead of changing our checks, our audibles and stuff, they left everything exactly the same. Eli see the screen, and this dude called it out. He was like, I don't know exactly what he did, but he let everybody know. Screen, interception, return for a touchdown. You can't sit up here and be like, you can't sit up here and actually put every single bit of that on him. Like, this is great. It seems like we're making excuses and things like that, but if you look at the entire situation, that's a setup for failure. Anyway, like I said, Joe, what you got, man? What's your favorite Eli moment?
So I kind of got two. So my first one would be what I put up that picture of before. I think I sent it to you, but it was like never forget that
the Cowboys.
Yeah, never forget when Eli Manning signed the Cowboys wall in the locker room after beating them in the first trip to the new stadium. So that was surprising because it's Eli, and the guy's a consummate professional, and he does all these, like, everything's professional with him, and everything's like by the book, and he's very smart, intelligent guy. So to see that that little bit of asshole come out, Eli was like, all right, he got a little bad boy. I mean, he knows what he did. He knows that he's like, I'm fucking with you because we just whooped your ass, and I want to let you know this is your grand opening in Jerry World, and y'all lost. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
So he lets you know, like, so that part of Eli to me was just like, that was awesome. And then my second would just be like, my second is just kind of like what he always did. It was just I've always missed Eli's shrug. Like, I love the shrug. Like, that's my greatest memory of him is just not him raising the Lombardi Trophy, not him breaking away from Tyree in the Super Bowl and making the helmet catch and everything. Like, the Eli shrug, no matter what. Like, he could throw a touchdown and he'd be on the sideline with the same dead face, just shrugging at the camera. He can get blown up in the backfield, he can tackle for loss, and have his shoulder pad popping out his shoulder, and look at the coach on the sideline just do, like, give a little Eli shrug and fix his shoulder pad and go back to the next play. He can throw a pick, and he can throw an interception to the corner, and while the corner is running the ball back down the sideline for a touchdown, Eli is already trotting off to the sideline. He's not even like, I'm not attempting to make this fucking tackle. Like, what am I doing? I'm not making that tackle. He trot off to the sideline, and he just standing there with his helmet off. The corner's still running down the sideline, dodging linemen and running back and everything, and he's already standing next to the coach with his helmet off, like.
All right, what do we do next?
All right, so halfback draw next play. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, what's the next play? I loved it. Like, it was just like, I mean, in game, you're like, I want to punch this guy dead in his mouth. Like, that's what you like in game. That's what you want to do. Like, he just shows he does not care. Like, he doesn't care about anything. But like, coming back on now is like, looking back on now is just funny. Like, that's just, but it speaks to like how calm and cool the guy was about everything. Almost to a fault. Like, the guy looked like mad dopey sometimes, but like other times it's just other quarterbacks will like they throw the third pick of the game and they come to the sideline and slam their helmet and throw it and break an ear pad and kick the shit on the sideline and try to be tough and flip a bench and slip and fall and shit. Like Eli would just jog off and go back while they're kicking extra points. Eli would go back, put the headset on, talk to the offensive coordinator, pull the iPad out, and be like, "All right, bet next whatever." And then next series go down and deliver a touchdown, and then come back. Like he's just professional. He didn't let. And then when he did score, like he had like the worst celebrations, but it's just like even his celebrations were like unathletic. Like it was just like I had like a bad fist bump. Like it was just bad. But he would score and he just be like, ugh, like one of these. Like what the hell is that? Like fix your fist bumps, all that shit. But it was like the only time he showed emotion was like really like when he threw a touchdown pass, which was cool. Like he didn't get sacked like 8 times like other quarterbacks and slam the ball and start yelling at his old lineman. He would just get sacked and he'd get back up and just clap his hands and be like, all right, come on, guys, pick it up next play. Like, we'll get it back. I missed the protection I should have called. My bad. Like, he take it all on the chin, even if it wasn't on him. Like, and that's why, like we said, like, besides a few select, like, scrubs that don't play with the Giants anymore, like, he had the whole organization, teammates, ex-players, teammates, coaches, everybody in the organization just has nothing but great things to say about the guy. So, I mean, it speaks to the type of person he is. But, I mean, those are probably my memories I'm going to have on him. But it's funny now how you just draft Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones is damn near like a rookie Eli, just the same get tackled or throw a pick or just have like one of his 17 fumbles this year and just sit there and stay on the sideline with the same dopey face. And I'm just like, God damn it, just 15 more years of this. All right, listen.
Well, these things are going to be too different.
I know. Well, like at least if you deliver me 2 or 3 Super Bowls in your time here, then I'll take the damn dopey looks all the time.
I'll be happy. And like I took the picture earlier, his kid is already getting ready.
I'm thinking.
So yeah, I'm sitting up here and I was going through like my little mental list of Eli moments before we started this and everything like that, and I was trying so hard to sit up here and narrow it down to one, but I can't. I could sit up here and point to 2005, the game before Wellington Mara actually died when we came back on the Broncos, and they got I think it was Al Golden on the sideline. They don't have a chance. They think they do. Where you at now, bro? You sat up there and watched us. Not even watched us. You allowed us to go down on the field with you multiple times. Put the ball in the end zone to Amani Toomer, just like he did in '98. Beating the exact same damn team. I considered him bring up 2006 against the Philadelphia Eagles, down like 21 points in the first half. Come back, win that game in overtime with Plaxico Burress throwing the ball into the stands like he did. Sit up there in 2007. What a lot of people don't remember about that year because of the fact that he never missed any time. But Eli played that whole year with a separated left shoulder. He got hurt in the first game against the Cowboys. I forgot who it was, but somebody hit him after he had thrown the pass and landed on him. Separated his shoulder. Doctors told him, like, yeah, we think you're going to miss 6 weeks. He was just like, no. And just kept playing. I mean, like, Joe brought up 2008 earlier. We should have won. The funny thing about 2008 is Eli really didn't do a whole lot that year. That year had a lot to do with the running game. But if he needed to, he would have. But one of the thing that stands out to me the most is 2011, the NFC Championship game. More than the Super Bowls, it's the fact that this guy took the beating of a lifetime. My man's jersey, when he started the game, was white. When he finished the game, his jersey was like some weird mishmash of green and brown. I had never seen, like, Joe, you played football before. You know how your helmet gets. I think this man started with a new helmet and ended up with a 1924 helmet at the end of the game. That's how bad that game was when it came to how much he was getting beat. But when you listen to the offensive lineman, he never said a bad word at all. He just got up, kept it moving. Everybody remembers that one play. He throws that little check down to Bradshaw. He gets buried, gets up, helmet all twisted off of his head, chin strap up over his mouth, and he still got the wherewithal to try and call timeout. It's not a matter of like I'm gonna slam my hand down on the ground, I'm gonna call my O line out. None of it. He just got up and kept it moving. It was that. To be completely honest with you, is one of those things where I look at it and I'm just like, dude, get mad, please. Like, sometimes you want him to, but it's just not him. It wasn't him. It's like it's crazy because you sit up there and you think about, like I said, to me, you look back at 07, you look at the Tyree play, both of them, because the other thing people forget about that is Tyree caught a touchdown before that. And had Eli put that ball anywhere besides where it would have been intercepted. You look at the Super Bowl. He and Brady were going at it. And I mean, like, setting consecutive completion records in the Super Bowl. The two of them were going at it, like back and forth. Even then, throughout all of that, what I'm going to remember the most, like my top memory, is forever going to be that San Francisco game. Just because of the fact that game right there showed me that no matter what you did to him at that point, you were not going to rattle him. And that man had they probably say he has ice water in his veins. Nah, his veins are frozen. They're not even ice water. There's nothing moving. You cannot get to this man. And that's one of the things that I'm like, I am never ever going to like forget or let go. And I'm sitting up here and I'm just like, I hope and I pray that Daniel Jones can give me something similar to that. So, like I said, we're going to be moving forward to DJ. I know y'all like to call him Dimes. I can't stand that name, so I'm just going to call him DJ. Career. Shut the hell up, Joe.
Every time I heard them as Dimes, just so you know.
Boo, what you think we got going forward with DJ, man?
Well, me and Joe and our other boy Kuz, we did a Nosebleed section. We actually did like a draft recap, and we kind of did like a preseason episode of Nosebleeds before this year started. And I was very passionate about how much I hated this pick, and I thought that it was just timing. I feel like we could have gotten him if he really wanted to. What was the second pick we got at like 17 or 18?
Yeah,
and then even third. We had DeAndre Baker. Maybe if you really wanted to, you could have gotten some picks at defense first, like a Josh Allen, and then maybe like a Dexter Lawrence, and then maybe gotten DJ at the end of the. But I'm not gonna lie to you, honestly. And after what was it, like 3 games into the season, they decided they were gonna pull Eli. They were gonna start Daniel Jones. After a really process, I really thought this Duke didn't have what it took to be NFL ready at that moment, and then. What was it? It was the game against Tampa Bay. This guy comes out, fucking basically wins us the whole game, has a rushing touchdown for the win. Just came out and completely balled out, completely proved me wrong. He definitely has what it takes to be successful. My biggest knock on him is just you have to hold on to the ball. You have to hold on to the ball. Like, you cannot fumble this much as a starting quarterback and expect us to win. Our defense by no means was a top-tier defense this week, but it's like, dude, when you fumble, when you're good for a fumble once or twice a game, like, what do you expect us to do with the field position that we're giving the other team? So while he does have a lot of good positive notes to kind of enhance moving forward, there's a lot of like key critical. If you don't put it down, despite how talented you are, we can't put you out there because you're a liability at quarterback for us, because we're going to march down the field. We're probably going to gain 40 yards. You're going to get us a fumble that you lost 15 yards on, and now they're damn near starting their offensive possession in the red zone. So, like, either we need to do some, like, really key fundamental skills for him, or you just give him better protection, which obviously is the plan. That's been the plan for the last few years, but I really like what I've seen out of him. Good arm strength. He reminds me of Eli in the fact that he gets the guys that you don't think would get involved. He made Darius Slayton a household name this year. which really coming out of Auburn, I heard how good he was. I saw some film on tape. I wasn't expecting an output like this, but it goes to show the connection that like the young guys made in preseason and training camp, and they're able to put that result out there onto the field. So I do think that he could be the right guy moving forward. He just needs better pocket awareness when there's pressure coming, and he needs to hold on to the ball like more than anything.
I feel you. I feel you. Y'all can hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry, somebody called me in the middle of it. I don't like turning the thing like airplane mode and putting my phone in Wi-Fi because the Wi-Fi in this place is like kind of weird. But yeah, somebody just called me. Steve, what you got, man? How you feel about DJ?
So overall, I do like Daniel Jones overall, but for me, so I was extremely upset when they picked him at 6, as most fans were, and I still stand by being upset. Actually, he did nothing, and it's not a knock on him actually to show me that it made sense. Reason being is that Josh Allen was arguably the best player in the draft in defense after Bosa, so the fact that he fell to you at 6 was a no-brainer, and I like Daniel Jones, and I really do, but the jury's still out if he's a type of talent worth picking that early when you probably could have gotten him at 17. And, and what if he was picked before? You could have gotten Haskins. You could have gotten, I think, Drew Lock. I'm just saying that I like Jones, but, again, I don't see, he doesn't seem to be Tom Brady per se. Obviously, he's a rookie, so it's hard to say, but that he was worth taking at 6 when you had a guy like Josh Allen. Now, in terms of his performance, he has an arm, which was good because that was my biggest fear. And I think the thing with him was he had really poor talent around him at Duke. And that really lowered what people thought of him because he wasn't playing with really high-end NCAA, borderline NFL type players. He was playing with average people that you'd have on a high school football team who went to Duke. So that really definitely made it look a lot worse than he was. To your point, though, about the pocket awareness, that is a major problem. I mean, the dude fumbles the ball at least like once or twice a game. And that has to stop. I mean, I believe it will because, he is a very smart. He's a really excellent student of the game, and he's well coached. He has a great attitude, and he knows, like, that'll be his Achilles heel. So, yeah, I mean, do I think he can have an excellent career? Yes. The fact that he's mobile, I mean, as much as we love Eli, the lack of mobility was always frustrating. The fact that he can run, he can really put a defense on their toes, which is great. The arm strength is there. The brains is there. If he can clean the fumbling up, I'm definitely very happy with him. But still, and again, it's more about Gettleman than about Jones. That 6th pick, I just don't think it was smart. You could have gotten him at 17. You could have gotten Josh Allen at 6. And I stand by it. And I'm confident that that's what they could have done. But, yeah, I mean, I'm happy with Jones. I can't say that I'm not happy. I mean, look at his numbers. You look at some of the games that he had. I mean, they're good. I do want to point out, though, with Darius Slayton, him turning into a household name. If you remember, was it the Dolphin game or the Eagle game where he had almost 200 receiving yards with Eli Manning? I'm just saying, I get Daniel Jones made him a household name, but Eli did that to lots of guys. And, I mean, him and Slayton, who didn't have the rookie connection, I mean, they were on fire for that first half. And then it was like nothing in the second half. I forget, like I said, if it was Philly or the Miami game. So, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, I'm confident overall, I got to say.
All right, sounds good. Joe, what's up, man? How you feel about DJ?
First and foremost, these Senior Bowl jerseys are kind of ass, but that's a different story. Just looking at it, kind of suck. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing as what these guys said, And at Vigi, I mean, me and you were sitting there at Oak watching the draft live, like we always do. Steve, by the way, me and Benji go to Oak Barrel every year for the draft. So if you want to come by for the first round,
yeah, no, I definitely. I hope I'm not screaming like I was when Daniel Jones was picked. My wife took a video of me screaming at the TV.
I mean, being a quarterback, so I'm not worried about that. But.
True.
But I mean, it's the same thing as what they said. They all both hit good points, and Benji again. How I felt about the pick. I felt that we could have got Josh Allen at 6, and I mean, the kid was just. It would have been a great story. The kid's right from Montclair, New Jersey. Like, I think I even coached against the kid. I'm not even sure, maybe not. But I might have seen him play. I'm not even sure. But kid right from Montclair, New Jersey. Kid goes to Kentucky. And like you said, he was possibly the best defensive player, arguably the best in the draft, if not the second behind Bosa. But I mean, you even look now, the kid was selected to the Pro Bowl this year as a rookie. So I mean,
Exactly.
could have had a Pro Bowl cornerstone on our defense, and you could have had him. You could have had Golden. You could have had Golden have his 10.5 sacks. This kid could have came in and had any number 10, 12, 13 sacks as a rookie. Then you could have went back, and you would have had Daniel Jones as your quarterback at 17. Because again, I believe all other crap was smoke screens. I believe Daniel Jones would have been there at 17. So you could have had possibly Josh Allen, who was debatably the defensive rookie of the year as a Pro Bowler. And then you could have turned around and had Josh Allen. You could have turned around and had Daniel Jones at 17. And I mean, look, Dexter Lawrence graded out as one of the best, noses in the NFL, and probably the best rookie nose in the NFL. So I mean, we didn't. I mean, he's gonna. I think he's gonna pan out because he's already doing well. But at the same time, like I think we could have. I think I would have rather traded Lawrence for Josh Allen at Daniel Jones at 17, and then we would have had extra picks unless we would have sat there and still traded back up to get DeAndre Baker, which I don't believe we would have had to have done because we could have sat there and waited. Well, we traded back to 30 when we could have just waited, I think, 3 or 4 more picks on day 2 and got DeAndre Baker 3 or 4 picks later. And if we didn't get DeAndre Baker, then there were other people. Like Greedy Williams was still there until like pick 40 something, and he played well for the Browns. So I mean, there were still other options there if we didn't want to wait. I mean, so I don't know. It's I mean, then again, you remember how we were when we were at Oak when we were all sitting here just praying. They said Josh Allen and they said Daniel Jones, and it was just like a big. We both just like deflated. It was just like, I mean, we knew it was coming, but like, come on, man. Like, there's certain things you just can't pass on. It's like, now, I mean, obviously the kids come out and obviously, other than what Abood said as far as the fumbles, like that you gotta fix that. But other than that, other things I have to say is maybe his pocket awareness and his timing. He has to get that internal quarterback clock better. He has to know when you need to get rid of the ball, run up the middle, take 2-3 yards, and take a slide and not take a hit. Something. And other than that, with the fumbles, you just got to get in the weight room because the kid's he's college strong, but you're a rookie NFL, which means you're back at the bottom of the totem pole, which means you're a little kid strong. These are grown men you're playing with now. When you were 21 and 22 college and a senior, like, then yeah, you're stronger than these freshmen in college. But now you're back down as you're a 21-year-old kid, 22-year-old kid, or as a rookie in the NFL. You're playing with 32 and 33-year-old men who've been playing in the NFL for 10, 11, 12 years. They got weight on you, like, so you got to get. I mean, it's gonna come with time, but you got to get NFL strong now. These aren't little boys you're playing with anymore. So you can't think you're gonna sit here, and even if it's a corner, you can't sit here and think you're gonna run into a corner and just take that contact. You run to that corner, he's gonna make you fumble because they know they know how to hit you, they know where to hit you, they know where to put their hand and the ball and their head on the ball. So you need to understand that. It ain't like college kids just trying to lower a shoulder and crack you, and you're a 6'5" quarterback. You can eat that, like But all that's going to come with time, and as long as he develops the right way, you need to understand. Like again, you're a quarterback. You need to get down because you're the franchise quarterback. You're not just like a backup. It's not if Alex Tandy was running the ball. People sitting here like, hit Alex Tandy. Like nobody cares. But like you're Daniel Jones. You're Daniel Jones. You're the franchise quarterback. Like you have to understand that you're needed the next play. So you need to get down and just learn that. Like if you sit here, you can take a hit, you fumble, and you run the possibility of getting hurt. And then we really have to play with Alex Tandy, which I really hope is not around after now because Shermer's gone. That really needs to be gone. To me, that was the scariest thing about last year. Like, I mean, not even last year, this year, because before it was like if Daniel Jones got hurt like he did, we could still fall back to Eli. Now Eli is gone. Now Daniel Jones really has to understand that you cannot get hurt. We can't afford to see you hurt because then what's the plan? Like you really have to go with Alex Tandy if Daniel Jones gets hurt. Which we really, again, you have to understand the mindset. You are the franchise quarterback. You are the guy. There's no fallback option here. If you go down, the team is going down again. Like Alex Tandy, I'm sorry, is not going to lead us to the Super Bowl title. So, I mean, for his first year, I enjoy watching the kid play. Ups and downs, and again, people were just finding ways to bash this kid and talk about how he's crap and how he's just like another Eli Manning and X, Y, and Z. And for everything they've done, all the criticism that they've done, all the hate and everything that they've done on this kid. He's just like another Eli. He's hitting with all the professional responses, and people see that and they're like, oh, here we go, another 15 years of another professional quarterback that knows exactly what to say, and people are going. That's only going to drive people to hate more and try to tear you down more. But if the kid can hold it together, then and put out some good years, cut down some of the turnovers, then I'll be happy with it. Like I said, we all did not like the pick at 6. We all felt he could have been there at 17. We all could have done things differently, but I guess that's why we're not the GM. So, for better or worse, gotta live with it. We're all Giants fans, so guys see what they can do this year. Now that's it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, see, I sit there and as you said, we're sitting there in Oak Barrel, and I hear him say Daniel Jones, and part of me wants to jump up like, yeah, we drafted Josh Allen. Wait, what?
That wasn't
And
me. That was my reaction was this. Oh!
Yeah.
That was my reaction.
I'm like, I think every Giants fan, for the most part, had the exact same reaction. Like, he could have been there at 17. Why did we take him so early? I think what ended up happening in that situation was it came out that Shanahan wanted him, but Snyder wanted Haskins. So you had this internal struggling going on with the Redskins, who were picking after us, and Gettleman was just like, you know what? I'm not even going to put it out the chance that this mess is going to happen. I'm just going to take him now, and then we'll deal with the fallout afterward.
I think Gruden wanted him, and then Snyder wanted Jones. Snyder wanted Haskins, and Gruden wanted Jones. Supposedly, I don't know how true that really was.
I don't know why I'm thinking Shanahan. But yeah, it was Jake Gruden. He wanted Daniel Jones or whatever, and then of course Dan Snyder, he wants to do whatever he wants because he's the owner, and you're not going to overrule the owner most times. But as I said, I don't think Gettleman wanted to play that, actually play that card. I don't think he wanted to call it bluff either. So he was like, you know what? We're going to go out there. We're going to take the guy that we want, and we're not even going to leave anything to chance. I'll deal with the fallout afterwards. It is what it is. To be honest with you, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it anymore. I could sit here and I could go hindsight 2020 and say Josh Allen would have been so much better for us, coming off the edge and all that other stuff. But at the same time, look at what we're getting ready to come into. Me and Joe talk all of the time. We got, potentially with cuts and stuff that are going to be coming up, about $80 million in cap space. Now, granted, he said he wants to hold on to 10 to 20 million for, moves and emergency stuff during the season. But you look at it, you got a guy like Jadeveon Clowney coming out in the free agency. You got a guy like, Yannick Ngakoue getting ready to come out in free agency and throwing all kinds of signals that he wants to be a New York Giant. We wouldn't be in the position if we went out there and spent a high draft pick on an edge rusher to pick up another guy like that. So, like I said, in hindsight, you could just be like, you know what? All right, it is what it is. We spent the 6th pick on him, and there's a matter of if that's what he was, then I hope he plays like he's worth it. And from what I've seen so far, there's not a whole lot that I can knock with him. I can sit up there and you can call out the fact that he goes through his progressions a little too slow and his pocket awareness isn't up there. But again, like I said about Eli, we've been spoiled. We have been really spoiled with Eli because of the fact that he's been here for so long. We're so used to seeing a guy that knows what he's doing on a professional level and has been playing at a professional level for so long that you're sitting up there, and with him, it's just like this is what we're going through, right? With Jones, now we're going back through the learning process. So us as fans are looking at it like, dude, what are you doing?
Yep.
When, we honestly should be like, all right, at some point or whatever, granted, it needs to be soon. He's got to grow and he's got to develop these skills and actually be able to go through his progressions faster, to be able to feel the rush faster, and to be able to protect the ball better. The thing is, every single one of those is correctable.
Exactly.
So I can't sit up here and be like, all right, The issue is with his decision making. Just because he wants to sit up here and, throw the ball into triple coverage when he got a wide open receiver over here on the side. Like, that's not the issue with Jones. The issue, like I said, is stuff that's all correctable. So we saw flashes all year long as to what Daniel Jones could be. Had it not been for the ankle injury, now that to a point, I don't want to say I'm happy he got hurt, but I'm happy that Eli got a chance to actually go out there and get his send off, get his curtain call. But had Jones not been injured, we'd probably be talking about him owning the rookie record for touchdown passes.
I think he owns it already.
No,
no, maybe he doesn't. Some other guy.
Baker Mayfield has it.
Baker.
Oh, I thought you meant team record. I'm sorry. I thought you meant team record for the Giants.
No. I'm talking about NFL record. He would have.
Okay.
He would have it if he didn't get hurt. Because we're talking. What was it? I think it's 27, Joe, and he had 20.
Yeah, 20.
And that's
24, I think.
Yeah, that's close. He's closer than that.
That's 2 games that he didn't play. And considering the fact the guy was out there at any given moment could throw 5 touchdown passes in a game.
Yeah,
this is what we're looking at. So going forward, I'm looking at this team and I see, we got this young quarterback. We have this all-world running back behind him. We have what looks like a really good tight end in Caden Smith that we just managed to get. Another thing about that, not to go too far off the handle with it, but DG came out and basically was, well, not him specifically, but somebody was saying that in the 5th round, the whole idea was Dave Gettleman was trying to decide on Darius Slayton or Caden Smith. He ultimately went with Slayton. And look who we got coming off of free agency. So you managed to sit up here and get both of them, which is like, hey, that I'm not going to complain about it. But because he's looking like a really, really good tight end option. And if by, some circumstance Evan Ingram isn't on the team anymore, I'm perfectly fine going ahead with Aiden Smith as our number 1. So you sit here and you look at the setup. You have a really good young quarterback. You have an all-star young running back. You have what looks to be a good tight end. And what looks to be a receiver that's going to become, now to me, he's not a 1 just yet or whatever. He still has to prove that he can command and then beat a double team in Slayton. But you got what looks to be a really good young receiver all in one draft. We are set up going to the future if these cards and Joe Judge play this correctly. And I'll be completely honest with you, I am very, very excited going forward with the Giants just because of what I'm seeing so far. But we've been at this for nearly an hour now, interruptions and all. So what we're basically going to do, Joe, I know you sitting up here, you still got to try and get in contact with Entertainer. And I got to get back with the 3 count guys. I know Jaquan is up here, itching, waiting to get this Royal Rumble stuff started up. So I got to change my setup, put my championship belt back over here on top of my my little thing over here, and we'll get that other one started. So for the wrestling fans that are watching us, look out for the 3 count podcast a little bit later. Nosebleeds will be back as soon as possible. Look forward to the other content and stuff that we have. Drop us likes, comments, subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, and we will be back to you guys for the SportsMark analyst as soon as we can. You guys take care. Y'all have a good one.